Welcome back, everyone, to the League of Legends College Championship. We are here in the semifinals. Maryville University taking on Bethany Lutheran College, with Maryville already up 2-0 in this series. Backs against the wall. Bethany have to find something to grab onto.
Yeah, and I mean, if there's any time now, right, every game at this point for Bethany is a best of one. We just take it step by step. You don't have to start thinking about game 4, not about game 5. Take it one game at a time for them. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking what they can do to really kind of shake up the game, because so far what we've seen so far is just kind of stock standard here for Maryville. Obviously the early game in game 1 was a little bit of a not how they wanted it to be, but I think that overall, I think Maryville has really gotten what they wanted each and every time.
Yeah, exactly that. And that's something I want to dive into a little bit more. When we were looking at the bot lane last time, you were talking about the dark tech, we're talking about all this stuff, the Heimerdinger bot lane for Wizardish.
Yeah.
I feel like you've got to find something to shut Shady and Evan RL down. You have to find something to keep Shady in the lane. That's where we've seen success against Maryville as well, when you don't let their primary shot caller get out of lane and start affecting the map.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were talking about this yesterday or the day before when it was the Maryville CC match. Shady is so good, man. Like, this guy has been grinding forever.
Yeah.
Like, he was on scouting grounds. He played a little bit on TSM Academy and Optic, but like this guy is so nuts. And every single time, every split, he is one of the best supports that we have in amateur and in collegiate. So I'm glad to see that he's still playing at that level, and I'm excited to see what he can pull out going further in this tournament potentially.
I really am as well. And as you see, we are into Champion Select, potential final game here for both of these teams in this series. See what Bethany can pull out. They will be on the red side. They're on their comfort side, Alk. See if they can get something that brings that comfort to the next level, as Maryville do ban away Nunu, Gwen, and Akali again on that blue side, followed by Bethany, who banned away the Nocturne, the Lee Sin. Very similar bans from last game.
You say comfort. I mean, if I lose 2 times on one side, I'm not feeling super comfortable, you know? We're about to lose. Bethany, hey, look, Bethany, if they can pull it out, hey, congrats to MU. There's no way that Bethany come back from a 0-2, okay? We just got to get it out. Got to get out of there. And basically, this is the same thing that we saw from last game, right? Same set of bans. Thresh being the first pick here, just such an important champion, I think, just across basically every single team. So really glad to see it, and I wonder what Bethany...
Run it back?
It's a little too early.
Hollywood's like, give me that one back. That's not how we go out here.
He deserves a redo.
It wasn't a Shady diff. It was just a situational difference.
He needs the redo, man. And they picked their AD carry up early on, so Wizardish is going to go back to playing this Kai'Sa. They want to say, hey, look, we're comfortable with this matchup. We've played it so many times. Like, it's just ingrained into them. So I'm glad to see that that's the case. But Maryville seemed very comfortable with that run back you're talking about.
It's about to be a run back if we don't they change things up a little. Maybe we get some lane swaps going in to change things up that way. But yeah, Renekton coming through, same exact picks as we got in that second game for Maryville. I'm glad to see a little bit of adaptation, a little bit of change coming out from Bethany. I really like the Kai'Sa coming in for Wizardish, having a little bit more agency down there, having that strong combo with the Nautilus as well. The Shen, though, comes in yet again for Solura.
Yeah, he is just on Shen duty, and he's okay with that. Talking with Reese, he's like, dude, I'm okay with playing weak side. Like, I did it against Chim, still won the game. I played really well.
True.
I've done it before. I did it against Toronto. Don't really mind. No one's... Now, I'll be fair. Chippies has definitely gotten an advantage and started to run away with that, especially in game 1 when we saw that Vladimir. But, I mean, this is just a time... This is just a tested champion, Bradley, and specifically for Bethany, right? They're just... playing a lot of champions that they've played for so long. It's those comfort picks that we were talking about.
It is indeed, as we are in that second ban phase here. We do get the Morgana banned away by Bethany. Still focusing a lot of those jungle pools because we are lacking some crucial pieces for both of these teams going into the second phase. The Victor banned away as well from Bradley by Maryville to try and keep some of that damage potential down against Bethany.
I don't know about you, but I'm kind of okay with Udyr being allowed if Victor's not going to be played. I'm okay with that. That champion puts me in resident sleeper jail. Okay, so it's true though, man. Like, Victor is just... Anyway, we'll get back to this later. But we're looking at AP junglers. I mean, are they going to take kind of Niles' advice? Yeah, Rumble is available. Lilia is there. They want to try and get a strong AP jungler that can kind of mix well with someone like the Renekton. Wouldn't be surprised as... Ooh, I like that. I like that a
love
lot.
the Sejuani band coming in for Maryville, changing it up in the last second there. Just making sure that maybe a little cheekiness wants to come out with the Sejuani is not going to be there.
Sejuani's super strong, by the way.
She is.
More people. Even on this patch on 11-10, I love this champion, and we've been having a lot of fun. Me and Colin are playing this champion, so I was wondering what AP junglers we were gonna see, and Hunter dives deep. He picks himself up the Diana.
Could be. Oh, that gets me so excited. The only thing that you're missing, is that Rel combo that you can get the Wombo combo themselves. But they've got some Wombo combos of their own. There's the Rumble for Odd Orange, so we'll be coming through, still getting that AP jungle. They're not changing things up though, as they're just gonna get the GP for chippies again. Run it back, baby. That's all Maryville say. They want to get to the finals. They want to hurry up and finish with today. We'll see how that works out. Bethany have something to say about that.
All right, what is their counter pick for mid lane? What does Bradley go for? He's been playing a ton of mages. He's also been playing stuff like the Gwen, which is obviously banned. So does he reach for the Viego yet again and say, hey, look, they may have just been a little bit of a difference. This time around, it looks like he's going to pick up the Tristana against Spyrax. That is going to be a very bloody matchup in the mid lane.
Hey, we wanted fireworks. Bethany up against the wall. Last game potentially for them. If they don't win here, they go with the double ADC composition, being sure to have that damage we were looking for.
Okay, and they want to have a really cut and paste dry like team fight, right? It is just Diana goes in, they are going full dive, which is funny because every time I talk with Colomer, he's like, I hate dive. I hate dive. Please dive. I don't want to go dive. And then he's like, he finally admitted, I have become that which I hated most. So he picked a full dive composition. He's got Diana, he's got the Shen to follow up, Kai'Sa's there as well. Hunter is going to have to lead his team to victory, and same thing with Bradley. If they can't get an advantage in mid lane, I can't imagine that this Diana is really going to get off the ground running, especially with how expensive some of her itemization can be.
Well, that's where I want to hone in a little bit more on this Bethany Lutheran College side, right? Like going down 2-0 against Maryville, the defending champs, the ones trying to just make that quick run back to the finals. It's a daunting task, but with the program that Bethany have put together, with the players that they have, the synergy, the grouping, everything that has come together for the Bethany Lutheran College program itself has been insane. These players have been popping off, and I just want to see a little bit more of that here before anything else comes to push or shove. I need to see the likes of Hunter getting those pop-off games, Bradley hard carrying the team, even Wizardish in the later games, and Hollywood especially. As one thing that I have to say has been a little bit lackluster to me is usually Hollywood is this proactive, roaming, getting things going for his team, unable to do so against the pressure that Maryville has been putting on.
Yeah, Hollywood and Wizardish. I mean, these guys, every single time when we were looking at round of 16, round of 8 especially, these two in the bot lane are always looking for level 6 wake-ups, where as soon as you get those ultimates, you're going in, you're finding kills, and so far it has been a little bit mute. It has been a little bit neutered thanks to some of the strength coming out from Maryville, some of what they're picking, and some early game kind of flubs coming out from them. So hopefully we get to see some of that consistency return for the bot lane, and as we get into game, this is it, man. I mean, Wizardish this time around, he's usually one to take exhaust on Kai'Sa, but he recognizes, I just need to get cleanse. I need to be able to unlock from any of the CC that lands, and hopefully it will lead them to a potential victory here.
Well, here we are, game number 3 of the first semifinals matchup of the day. Maryville up 2-0 against Bethany Lutheran College. With something to say here, Bethany Lutheran need to get one of these pieces active, get them going. They've got all the tools, but the execution is what it comes down to.
Execution, super key, especially for Bethany's composition. If one piece is not at either the correct spot or is not functioning at 100%, this composition will just fall apart. It's very squishy, and it's going to be, and if you're going to be diving into someone like a Renekton, into Thresh, GP, Rumble, you have a tall task on your hands there. You're going to feel a lot of pain if you can't execute at the highest level. So Bethany, it's on them. I mean, again, they're 2-0. It's 2-0 against them. One more game, one more loss, and they're just out of the tournament. They're done. They're out of. They finish in top 4, which is still impressive.
Which is incredible.
When you look at
yeah.
Exactly. You look at the kind of trajectory of this team. They go 6-0 in the regular season in their conference. They're playing in the North. They end up losing in the quarterfinals to Lion Eye Esports, and they don't actually end up going to CLOL, but because of the committee, the RSAA, they then get voted in by some of their peers, and they make a fantastic run all the way up here to top 4 against what is a lot would consider the best collegiate program here.
Exactly. It's nothing to scoff at. I mean, it is absolutely impressive what they've been able to accomplish with this roster, with the team, the organization behind them as well. So, as I said, I'm just feeling for this team. I want to see that little bit of life come through, and Hollywood actually going to get a little interesting hook trade there by Shady.
The supports this time, they're just saying hi to each other. Hollywood's like, hey, man,
that's
not again. It's not happening again.
In support.
in the support language, aftershock means hello.
Yes, I completely agree. At least it got off this time, right?
True. Yeah, aftershock was procced. Yes. Hopefully, you know, for Bethany's sake, that doesn't happen again. But we'll have to see. Early game so far, both these junglers are pathing towards each other. And you take a look, even though mid lane is pushing for Bradley, this bot lane, they are shoving hard for Odd Orange to try and get this bottom scuttle.
Yeah, just making sure they are available when that play comes to fruition here, as Hunter is the first one to go into the river. Will be the first one to start that scuttle crab as well.
Oh, Jesus, it's dead.
It's just going to go down. Yeah, she's going to die so quick to the Diana. 1 health will burn down, and Hunter gets out clean as a bandit.
Okay, that's awesome. He immediately invests the smite because he wants to try and break the shield. By the way, we are playing on 11-10, so these are the new jungle changes. We're 2 games in. We didn't get to explain that one quite yet, as Bradley just goes straight in. He wants to take the health trade here because he wants to try and force something onto them, but they may have found something onto Shady.
Oh, no. Shady's completely caught. Flash not going to be enough. He doesn't get it off, and Wizardish is the first one to get a kill in this game.
Awesome trade, and I like how Bethany is playing aggressive around some of their lanes, right? Pushing off Odd Orange from the mid lane. They then corral Shady into the Dragon Pit. He's not able to escape. Versko going over to Wizardus. Really important, kind of starting off on the right foot for Bethany.
Yeah, really good stuff, and something we didn't get to see last game, something that can really propel them forward with this double ADC composition is getting the Kai'Sa ahead early, as we are going to get that replay going through of how Shady exactly got out. Just the vision game. He's just the vision.
You can't be here, buddy. This is the illegal positioning coming out. Like, he doesn't know where Hollywood is.
Sirens.
Like, yeah. You hear him in the background, but like literally, you could not be there. It is just really good punish coming out from Bethany, and have to see what ends up happening. This is a really good adaptation. I wonder if they'll be able to stop this recall in time. That's a dodge.
He was there. Yeah, they're able to get Chippy stopped on the recall with Hunter here as well. Going to dash in. A lot of damage on Chippy. Chippy flashes over the wall, but gets the short side of it. One more auto attack. No, it's going to be the Crescent coming out. Hunter gets the kill.
Okay, that is the adaptation that I have been waiting for coming out from Bethany, because every single time, if you watch Chippy's individually, he will always go for this ward where he tries to ward either in the tread brush or for the Krugs, and then he'll reset right where he was standing. So really, really great job that they were able to spot that out and then punish him for that in player tendencies. It's just a small thing, but over time, those are things you can start to gain an advantage. So awesome job coming out from Bethany.
And I love it because those are the exact things you look for in the microcosm that is a best of 5, right? There's a little meta that develops. You've got to see what everybody's bringing to the table here. And that's something that, yes, finally gets punished by Bethany. And it looks really nice moving forward into the series as well.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at this. They get the push onto mid lane. Now, Odd Orange walks mid, pushes the wave, and now look at this. Like, Bethany are in this really awkward position where there's a massive wave stacking for them. They don't know if jungle and mid are coming down, so they're forced to
go for the engage. They just took the fight into a 3v2. Here comes the TPs now from across the board. You're getting everybody from Bethany, but they've already lost a member. Shady gets the kill, and now Spyrax is here with full health, with full rage. Shady goes down, though, immediately to Bradley. Bradley tries to get out, but Spyrax gets the kill, and this is chaos. Solura's just going to be taken out as well by Evan RL, and it's tied 3-3. Blood all over the bot lane.
Yeah, GP ult does such work there, Spyrax.
Hunter wants to pull the play, but I don't know. Spyrax
Wait a minute.
down to Wizardish. Auto Orange flashes out for the tower aggro, and they get a trade for the ADCs.
Okay, that is so close there. If they're able to get another kill, that is disaster for Maryville, but they play right on the edge, and this entire time, Chippies is just cashing in on that top lane, constantly shoving waves. More and more of these minions are missing. It is 26-62. Now, it is a Shen, but it's not supposed to be like this. As Shady, does he find it? There it is.
Oh, no! The hail of arrows is going to do it. Backing in front of the tower is an oof for Wizardish.
Shady gap. That's all you gotta say. Moving on. Well, I hope we get a replay of that because I want to just take a look at how much Bethany ended up kind of putting in for the resources there. Like we were saying, that wave could potentially be frozen by Maryville, which then becomes so dangerous if you're someone like Bradley. They don't know that Auto Orange and Spyrax are coming, and if they're able to get a reset or freeze that wave with Evan, then that just means that Shady is unlocked yet again onto the map to be a terror. So really great job that we got to see Maryville punish onto that, and while they were trying to reset onto this, hold that, Bethany, watch out.
Hunter just finds Auto Orange, gets the smite, see if Auto Orange can survive, has the equalizer, but Hunter does too much damage there, does get the 1v1 kill in the jungle trade. Shady wants to punish this though, lands the hook here onto Hollywood. Chippies
Hunter.
Fight. That's a lot of damage. Chippies is going to go down. Hunter gets out with the skin of his teeth as well. There's the Chains of Corruption right there onto Solura. Solura flashes out, but will end up dying here as the arrow actually not going to be enough. So they're going to have to spend some more time to chase him down, but it is a quick response, at least from both sides. Chippy's the one to fall. They could trade this 1-for-1.
Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, they go for the 1-for-1. They are able to find that onto Auto Orange. I just love how every time Hunter's like super close to death, he's not. He just walks away. He's really great timing on that. And honestly, finding that window to try and punish onto Auto Orange is super critical because he's starting to fall behind a little bit as Auto Orange continues to try and pick up camps and as he has to try and hold for his waves. But I mean, look at this. This wave is so hard for Wizardish to play on. It can be frozen. Shady can just do this.
No. That feels so... I've seen this happen so many times before. When you see Threshes, there's just literally nothing you can do. You're trying to outsmart the Thresh. You're like, I can go this way. I'm going to walk that way. I've got this. And then he just closes the distance on you, flays you, and you're done. So unfortunately for Wizardish, I was just about to talk about how both these ADCs having a couple kills to themselves, having some gold in their belts, sets us up so well for these compositions, but Wizardish getting punished by Maryville.
This is one of those moments where you're just like, when you're trying to dodge a skill shot and the person just like keeps walking at you and you're like,
yeah, and you're like, but
I thought you were gonna throw
it.
He's not throwing it. Oh no, abort. He ends up dying, right? And it just means another wave crashes. And it allows for this play where Shady can just walk mid lane and provide a lot of prio and provide pressure for Spyrax to get some more minions for himself. Now, really intelligent way to try to pull this Rift Herald. I don't think Maryville can see it, but they're just focusing on a Wizardess. They're trying to tilt this guy out of this game.
Yeah, they really are. Well, and also they've got a 5-0 Evan RL. Like, if you're going to put eggs into a basket, you put them into the Evan RL basket right now. And it's looking really nice on this Varus. They weren't able to find the punishment because Hollywood was on his way. They didn't want to go for the tower dive there. So things going to calm down for just a little bit longer. Probably not long.
Yeah, and right now, I want to just take a look at how this mid lane matchup is really starting to shake out, because when you look at someone like Tristana, you're looking for early trades. I held that, Chippies.
The Moonfall does tons of damage, but Hunter can't find it. Hunter has been relentless in this top side of Maryville's jungle.
Yep, he knows that, hey, Rumble's in my bot lane. I just need to try and find camp. So he'll get himself a little bit more of those quadrants. He'll force out the flash from Chippies. Some good trades, but I want to see what comes out of it, right? We were talking about it in the last game, and you know, it's all about actualizing these things that you find, these advantages. How do you turn them into real things that help you win the game? And so if Chippies doesn't have flash, how do they punish this? They even force out the ultimate, the cannon barrage. How does that help with Dragon potentially? As Bradley,
Dominus pop from Spyrax just to get a little bit more healthy for that fight, but Spyrax gets away from the trade of Bradley. And something else that's really interesting to me is we have not seen any priority on these dragons so far. Has been a huge mainstay in the other games we've seen in the series so far, but 11 and a half minutes in, 6.5 minutes after first dragon spawn, nobody has even touched it.
Yeah, and the thing that I'm looking at is how does mid lane interact in this game? Because so far, we haven't seen much from Bradley or from Spyrax. Spyrax is able to get that roam in the bot lane, and even though partaking in some of these fights, we haven't seen that, Tristana priority in the mid lane, and maybe we would have quite have expected. So yeah, a lot of this is coming off of the back of the bot lane where Shady's able to roam in the mid lane. But take a look at this. How are they taking control of this bot lane and just making sure that the river is all theirs in terms of vision?
Exactly. You just see, at this point, you just need a shark skin for Shady's Thresh, just walking around, just looking for blood. But yeah, I can expect a lot of the eyes for both these teams to go back down towards this bot side. The Dragons still being available there. Maryville actually deciding to initially actually start it up here, but they're going to get trounced on. It goes over the wall. So at least Hunter is able to find this advantage, get this early dragon. Finally, right? It's going to set that timer going. But a little advantage for Bethany is not going to be the grandest thing, right? You've still got a lot of focus from Maryville down towards this bot side, and especially trying to punish Wizardish, as Orange is constantly down.
Oh, it's just cheeky.
And he's staying. Yeah, it was really close. There's the flash from Shady. The hook from Hollywood gets him out, though. Nicely timed.
Yeah, doesn't quite get the prediction there. And they utilize the flash from Shady, so really important for the next few minutes. Not able to make some more of those flashy plays we might see from them. And Mazel, I saw the dragon. You may have heard me say, I'll hold that as Spyrax. He's just dead.
I don't know, though. Healing? Okay, the bomb's going to be too much. Orange gets the kill. Moonfall now comes down. Shady is here to help out Orange.
Oh, my God.
Get it. Shady's all by himself against Hunter. Going to walk straight into Hollywood and says, here's your hook. I got you this time. As Shady's going to go down to a double kill to Hunter.
All right, that is so lucky. You saw Hunter's HP bar. It was ticking down. And the minions just were like, okay, we're done. Job's done. Like, I don't know what to say. That was so close. They're able to get that. Yeah, they'll be able to grab themselves the first turn on the top lane, but this is a ton of gold being influxed for the Diana. She's already ahead in camp. She's got a gold lead for herself as well. And you see that first item's completed? Well, it's going to continue that way. She's going to continue to get more and more items, going to be rushing for that level 11. And so now, the brains behind LeBron here for Bethany is now in the driver's seat for the advantage.
That's what I love to see. You're getting some developments here for Bethany where it's going to be the Hunter show, at least until these ADCs are coming online, until you're getting a couple more items on the Tristana, the Kai'Sa, things like that. Like, this is going to be about how Hunter maneuvers around the map and how he takes those engages, because you said in the draft, he's their engage. He's the one that's more than likely going to be the front runner.
Oh my God.
Hollywood is just going to get ultied to death here, as Evan RL is now dominating at 6-0 for Maryville.
That's one of those times when you're in comms and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's dead on my screen. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. We'll be able to watch this fight again. Yeah, and take a look at this. They don't know. They know that there's people roaming into mid lane. And while Bradley's able to catch this kill, this is basically Conqueror at its finest. So much healing. He's able to get a little bit of healing from the Triumph. And then look at the minions. Yeah, it's a bunch of them. And he moves just out of range, trying to avoid the Thresh ultimate because no one had broken the wall. So it's the first one that does damage. So key for them that shutdown does not go over.
Maryville's going to be sending a not so kind letter to that cannon minion. And be like, yo, what was that? Come on now.
Bro,
no, but
come
seriously. On. It's looking really nice right now comparatively to last game for Bethany. It's looking like a night and day performance, honestly, after the domination that we saw with Maryville early on. And you're getting some gold onto the right members here. The biggest thing for me is as you said, actualizing that. And with no big focus on the objective so far, those are coming up later on. We still have 2 minutes for another dragon, and Bradley is looking like he was going to get ganked, but is able to get away from that one. But Maryville's still fishing. They are all roaming together, looking for those picks.
I'm not going to lie, Mazel. I know you felt it.
Did he get
there was a sharp intake of breath as soon as you saw that hook come out. You're like, does Shady land these? Thankfully, I think if you're a Bethany fan,
crazier things. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. That was definitely like Oh man, does that actually go through? That's pretty nuts.
That shouldn't hit, but does it just connect for some reason?
Yeah, and take a look at this. They're actually holding them in it. So Maryville were trying to find a flank, but Hunter is here. Spyrax is also somehow behind, so they don't know he's here. He's outside of vision. That's a ward.
They got the Dominus here on a Spyrax, immediately flashing out because Evan RL was ulted by Hollywood. Hollywood gets ulted by Evan RL. Hollywood is down. Look at Spyrax taking up the rest of the team, and Moonfall comes in. Look at Hunter! Hunter just dominated the backline of Maryville, but he's got to put on more of a show here if he wants to take this fight for Bethany. Big barrel lands onto Solura. Chippy's over the wall, taking lots of damage onto the enemy members here. Odd Orange chasing them down by himself, but Hunter pulls out the miracle play to take down Evan and Shady.
Okay, tons of factors going into this. Small things at first, right? Hunter has a ton of gold. He got a ton of shutdown, but he also has futures market, so he's able to finish the Rift Maker and get himself the Nashor's Tooth. That's one thing. Two, look at how much damage that Maryville are able to put down in a line. You have the GP ult that comes down, and it's on two different fights. So at first, this is really good for Maryville. They split it up and have distracted them, but Hunter flashes forward, Moonfall. And I was going to say, Maryville potentially have a huge amount of damage if they're able to keep Bethany on the Equalizer and the Gangplank Ultimate. But, I mean, Hunter just forces the issue. He forces the problem and says, Maryville, you're going to have to answer the Diana at this point.
And the answer right now is for Maryville to start up Rift Herald. As we see coming back into the game, that will be secured by them. Another objective on the board, or at least the second objective on the board. And really just trying to see if they can find an in for this one. You've got to expect it needs to go mid lane because you've got the only outer tower remaining. Yeah. Meanwhile, Hunter is committing to this dragon, will secure that second dragon of the game for Bethany. And, you know, both teams taking their trades where they can.
Yeah, and you look at this, like, who is paying for what, right? Like, there needs to be some kind of balancing act. Solura has definitely kind of taken a bit in the bullet and said, hey, look, guys, I'm playing weak side Shen. I'm just going to allow this to happen. But you look at what the rest of his team is able to get. Bradley is slowly eking out a little bit of an advantage, but most of this is just playing around Hunter. He's 3 levels over Odd Orange. And basically all of the CS difference that's in Chippies is in Hunter at this point. So everybody get into the Diana basket, get in the backpack. Hunter's taking everybody to school. You know, he's got, I remember looking at the surveys and we were asking some of the players about certain questions. You know, the meme for Hunter is that he has a big white car and he just drives around and he's like, I gotta go ask Willem. Whenever they ask a question, it's like, I gotta go confer with Willem, and it's his car. He takes everybody around in the snowball.
Yes.
So,
oh, Bethany. Oh, Moonfall came in from Hunter. The Equalizer gets the stand united on top as well. Spyrax trying to stop Bradley from engaging the fight. Here's the TP in from Chippies on the side. The cannon barrage to preclude that. And nobody able to follow it up. It was so close. Hunter was so close to getting the kills, as well as so close to getting killed. But nothing happens. And this is the type of tension that you're expecting in a game like this.
Yeah, and Maryville, the entire time, I mean, Bethany is trying to find some kills, trying to answer back because of how hard Maryville is pushing into the mid lane, but they lose a tier 1 in mid. They lose a ton of health on that second tier 2. So Maryville, they come out even, right? No one dies in that fight, but that is a huge amount of pressure for them later on into the game. Let's see if it pays off once we get to that point. But Bethany, they need to kind of turn some of these leads into an advantage. How does Bethany utilize and leverage Hunter? He's finding kills, but just not quite available to kind of turn them into like real kills so they can get stuff for them.
Something else for me that's really interesting to take a peek at is, first of all, the gold lead, right? Maryville are not very far in the lead, about 1.3k, but it's the CSs that are crazy to me. You've got like a 60 CS lead for Hunter in the jungle. Meanwhile, you're about to get Flame Horizon for Solura. It's just so topsy-turvy across the board. And
they're doing this.
Just means that both teams have different advantages, and they started up, they get it about a quarter down, but they immediately pull away. There's the death sentence plus the dark passage. Oh no, goodness, they're gonna get the combo reversed on them as Hunter does so much damage right now.
Guys,
oh, the Equalizer. Odd Orange was waiting for that one. Wizard just walks up a little too far.
All right, that's funny.
They immediately start up the Baron. Baron's getting very low very quickly. And the rest of Maryville are not really here to respond.
Cannon barrage available.
Off the Dominus, as Baron about 4,000 health here. Odd Orange is there. They've got Stand United coming in. Spyrax is into the pit.
No.
Spyrax is just dead, and so is Odd Orange. Bethany have come away with everything as they get the Baron.
Uh-oh, hey, Chippy's wrong area, guys.
Why are you there, Chippies? Okay, Bradley goes down anyways, but it's still a dub here for Bethany as they do secure another objective for themselves.
Man, Niles on the desk was right. Maybe Maryville should stay from the Baron, guys.
Yeah, I think so.
It turns out the alum knows a little bit more than maybe some people. But hey, that was a really great start, and I think a miscall from Maryville. I think that when you look at this, I wonder if we have a vision toggle for this. So Shady finds the hook. They don't know that anybody else is here, so they're like, okay. And then they see Wizardish.
Oh,
so
poor
they think that maybe
RL.
Wizardish. They're like, maybe Wizardish isn't strong enough to like a 2v2 for them, but then they keep going for this, and you know, awesome that Odd Orange is able to find this. The auto execute from Equalizer comes through, and I was wondering how long are Maryville going to wait for this fight, because cooldowns for top lane are not quite available. There's no Stand United, there's no Cannon Barrage until this very moment when they call for it, but no Equalizer available for them means can't really do much in this pit. Spyrax is sitting back, can't do all that much damage. There's a Shen ult. There's no one really to cut down on any of the shielding, so they just pick up a few more kills. They pick up a Baron, and correctly, I think Maryville kind of bite off a little bit more than they can chew.
Yeah, and that's the moment that Bethany have really turned this around, turned the gold lead around as well, as they're now 2,000 in the lead. With that double ADC composition, it's going to be feeling really, really nice, and especially, my God, what a performance Hunter is having on this Diana, just picking up his team, saying, we got this, guys.
I was talking with the coach, and I was, you know,
look at that gold difference.
Hunter, it's huge, man. The gold diff, it's one of those games when you're in solo queue, hey, you just type jungle diff in chat, in all chat. That's how it goes. They're gonna be able to get themselves a Ocean Drake. I mean, the best part about this for Maryville is that they send so many members that Bethany don't actually get to use all that much of their Baron. So some delay there, and a little bit of a mistake in terms of how much they need to prioritize this objective. But Hunter, he's not really one to give a lot of sentimental speeches, but last night he gave a good one to the boys. He's like, hey, look, we have a strong game tomorrow. Everybody get some rest. I don't advise you guys to be playing too many solo queue games. Like, play one or two, but not too many. I want us all to be rested, and I want us all ready to beat Maryville tomorrow. And, you know, it starts here. It starts in this game 3 and potentially going all the way.
As you said, all of these games are best of ones for Bethany. They have to win every single game from here on out to book that ticket to the finals. Maryville definitely do not want that to happen. Although they are down 3 dragons to 0, they found the engage. Hunter going to take some damage. They decide not to go on that. Maybe realizing the last time they did that didn't go so well for them.
Yeah, most people would be like, wow, you got the Equalizer. But if you look at Odd Orange and you look at his ultimate, he has Ultimate Hunter. He has a bunch of cooldown reduction. That thing is like close to 35 seconds, especially once he gets level 16. He's a bit far away from that, but it's it's like 40, 50 seconds at this point. It comes up within every wave and a half or so. So at this point, it's a glorified basic ability for Rumble.
Yeah. See how much Odd Orange is able to use that basic ability, if you will. The bot lane is the focus for Bethany right now, so they're trying to take down this outer tower. It'll be the last outer tower for Maryville here as well, so able to get some of that pressure around the map for Bethany. Bradley staying around a little bit. Does have the rocket.
He knows. The Spidey sense tingles.
Yeah, well, he's also got the ward, watches Shady walk up to him like a shark. He's like, he still pops it though. Okay, he's just gonna get away. I like Shady's initiative there, but not going to find exactly what he was looking for.
Yeah, and let's, you know, I think we have a little bit of a break, I hope, for right now, as both teams are kind of resetting back onto the map. They're trying to mobilize. We need to take stock of where we are in the game, right? Like, it's 3,000 gold for Bethany. We were in a similar position in this in game 1, and the Ocean Soul is yet again on the precipice of being a win condition for Bethany. If they're able to get that, Renekton is the saddest champion. Evan RL as well. I mean, Chippy's probably has the most burst damage, but so far, the key driving factor to each of these fights is, where has Chippy's been? We haven't seen him really connect in the team fights, and I think Bethany going to try to make the kill.
Here he is. He's going to get trounced on by 4 members as Chippy's tries to do a little bit of damage, but doesn't do much. Wizardish picks up another kill. That's a nice little catch out. Maryville not really finding a response across the rest of the map either.
They can get mid lane turret. I think that's just mid turret. That's a huge wave. I mean, it's just Shen. Oh, it's so close. Okay, so he gets the attention of the cannon minion. They're not going to be able to take this mid. Oh, wait, minions.
Oh my god. Oh
no!
My god, the minion got
Observers.
it.
Okay, it's gone. Okay, thank God.
Oh,
I was like, if that lives at 1
I
HP,
saw that
that's so tilting.
the last melee minion. Yeah.
Oh,
it was
man.
just like,
Okay.
bonk. Done.
Okay. I was going to say it's very bad for Maryville if that mid turret doesn't go down, because like you're saying, they don't get much in the trade for it. Because that ends up going down, they have a little bit easier time pushing out this wave all the way and potentially threatening for an inhibitor if they don't want to try and contest for this Ocean's Drake, which I can't imagine they won't. It's a minute and a half. Chippy's has respawned. He's basically at like core items right now. He's got he's got Essence Reaver, IE. He's where he wants to be, but that damage needs to land on some of these members.
Oh, and Evan needs to find good positioning here, not getting got. He has 7 kills on the Varus. He has his 3-item spike. He is strong, but he can't get caught, right? We've seen the burst damage potential coming out. The follow-up. You've got Bradley, you've got Wizardish, you've got Hunter specifically. Spyrax goes TPing into the mid lane, immediately forcing a reposition from Bethany. Shady finds the hook, doesn't go in for it though. The ulti will be used by Hollywood.
Oh,
Spyrax
Bradley,
goes
no.
in on Bradley. Buster shot comes out. There's Wizardish using the killer instinct onto Spyrax. Doesn't find the damage. Moonfall is a 3-man wombo combo, as that is the party that Hunter has made for himself. That is a huge pickup for Bethany as they find the fight. They find the members they need to. Chippies and Spyrax, the only ones left.
There we go. That is exactly what I wanted to see. We were talking about it all series. They turned the Hunter lead into something real. Maryville were trying to punish Bethany. They said, hey, we know you're not doing Baron. Well, guess what? You're either going to have to answer for this mid lane or you're going to have to come and fight us. And that time around, Maryville tried to take the fight to Bethany. They're not able to find it. They call in TPs. They're going to try and take this on spawn, but this is such a difficult try for the solo laners.
I don't know if they can do it. Chippies was trying to be the last bastion. Flashes over the wall here, and this will be Ocean Soul unless a miracle happens. Going over to Bethany. Spyrax taking a lot of damage here from Hunter.
Look at Hunter.
The wall. There's another bunch of damage coming in from the Moonfall as well, and the Dragon secured. So look at those health bars just going right back to full. Bethany are completely controlling this game right now. Sub 29 minutes. They've got everything they could ask for.
Ocean Soul, Baron in their back pocket. Hunter's the highest level in the game. I mean, it doesn't get much better. We'll get the replay of this, and I love the start of this for Maryville. I don't want to take anything away from them. Look at how this starts. They get a ton out from Bethany. They're able to force the flash away from Bradley, and at this point, you're saying, okay, back off, reset, and come back into the fight. But it's right here. Hunter finds a 3-man. And look at where Chippies is. He can't land a shock. He can't land any of his barrels. The ultimate just barely isn't able to kill Wizardish. And by the time that some of the solo laners from Maryville are able to kind of come back into this fight and fight for something and fight back against Bethany, it's too late. The fight is already over. And Mazel, I don't know if we cast or cursed it, but this is feeling like a Bethany. Bethany are looking to try and take themselves to a game 4.
Yeah, just about under 7,000 gold. Hunter gets caught here, but as we've seen time and time again, doesn't matter if you catch out Hunter because he has stasis, he has health, he can survive. And now with the Ocean Soul, they can just stay around and keep pressuring on Maryville, just like Maryville has done to them.
And the side lanes become so difficult now that you're able to kind of turn Wizardish into a mobile assassin. You can go into the side lane and suddenly Killer Instinct level 16. Boom, you can't do anything. You have Shen, who's also able to sit in a side lane and at a moment's notice can pop in with the Stand United. So the team composition finally coming on alive, and really what we were expecting from Bethany coming into this series to begin with.
And at this point, Maryville just trying to grasp at straws, trying to find something to do because they can't defend against this push. The hook goes in. They've already found the damage. Hunter with another insane Moonfall that is just obliterating people. The last 2 members from Maryville will go down. They've got Baroned up minions. They've got all the push they could ask for. They've got a 13-1 Hunter on Diana. Bethany Lutheran College make it a series. They take their first game. It is now 2-1 in Maryville's favor.
Okay, I don't want to say it's called a comeback quite yet, but it starts here, like we've been saying. Fantastic job from them. Bethany, oh man, that is such a good win, and especially off the back of Hunter, who I think a lot of people coming into this would have just been like, okay, eyes on Wizardish, eyes on Bradley. Second fiddle usually to Bradley, coming up huge in this game 3.
The brains is the brawn, both of them. In actuality, man, Hunter just pulled out some serious playmaking. I have to say the early engages, like the early findings of Odd Orange in the jungle was what made it for me. And the fact that the rest of the team was able to follow that up so nicely with that double ADC composition, it's giving me so much hope for Bethany. This is exactly what we wanted to look for. And when we were coming into this, we said, you know, Bethany backs up against the wall. We know these players can play. We know that they can execute. And here they did.
Yeah, they had a fantastic series, and I'm glad to see them back on their feet a little bit with some comfort picks like the Kaisa for Wizardish. And, you know, they're breaking up some of what we would consider monotony in terms of the pool of champions picked. But I'm glad to see that, you know, they're back on their feet just a little bit. Now, I hope that they're fully planted and ready to go the distance in this series, as Maryville still, I mean, it's one win and you're done. So I know Niles was like, hey, it's not like best of threes where, you know, with the AHU and ISU game, you potentially could get 5 games of that any time of the day. But this time, Maryville 2-1, they lead the series, but you know that reverse sweep is there.
The reverse sweep dream is there. We'll see how that all works out. Bethany battled back from the brink of destruction, and when we return, the State Farm Analyst Desk will be breaking down their win.
Welcome back to the 2021 College League of Legends Championship. Maryville ends up taking the L in game number 3. Bethany coming out strong to push this series to a game number 4. If y'all thought we were in for a 3-0, you are sorely mistaken. So with that, I think there's a lot of good things that we can look at. Yeah, Niles, you have officially lost the prediction game just in number. How does that cut you, sir?
Yeah, I didn't expect the Hunter 1v9 show on the Diana. It's my bad. It's my bad.
Yeah, I think that's a very good place for us to start, because I know both of you, when we were talking, were saying, oh, Diana, that is something maybe we didn't expect to see. And Niles, so strong right off the bat.
Yeah, so one thing about this bot lane is that the bot lane will have priority, but Diana does something really smart, actually. She skips Gromp to get the crab before Rumble can finish clearing. When champions like this are in the game, like Rumble or Diana, either they skip camps or they're late to crab, right? And so this ends up Shady getting killed because Shady wants to roam top to help secure top crab because he doesn't want the Rumble to get double scuttled. And so it's sort of a snowball. So it's really smart by Hunter to skip the Gromp so that he's there early on the crab and he beats Rumble to it.
Yeah, and I think people underestimate how important these crab fights can be for getting a jungler ahead. Diana, as soon as she was locked in, I was like, okay, I love Diana personally. I would like to see more of her, but she is a risky pick. Off camera, Niles even was like, she's kind of a riskier Rumble, right? Like, you really want to get ahead so she can just take over fights and skirmishes, right? She's an incredible duelist. She can take over team fights as soon as she has a few items, but that's if she's ahead, right? And so this play actually ends up being so important because of how they protect the crab, because Maryville end up losing out with Shady getting caught on the rotation, which isn't necessarily his fault. It's just a result of how both of these teams reacted to the play. So I really liked not only Hunter taking over this entire game on Diana, but also how Bethany were able to play around him.
As a region, we've developed a lot of feelings about Scuttle as of late, and here we're seeing just how important it can be in any context. But nonetheless, I think that with a team like Bethany, right, you're looking to see, can they continue to hold their own and have great moments for the rest of the game? And Niles, they definitely found ways to take advantage.
Yeah, so once Hunter got his advantage, he really did a good job of fighting with it. So this is a really good look onto Auto Orange in the jungle. One thing that you should note, though, is that Varus is actually committing towards his Herald fight, whereas Kai'Sa is bot. So it feels good to get the kill on Rumble, but you actually don't have a numbers advantage because Varus is here, right? And if you watch Kai'Sa, she's kind of going in between mid and bot. She's not sure what to do, right? So this is a really big point for Maryville, and I thought that after this, they'd be favored to win this game, but some good team fights from Hunter ended up bringing it back. But it was really important to highlight how Hunter was doing a good job transferring his lead, and I want to see Maryville continue to play around Herald like they did in that fight, and it should be good for them.
And if you're looking at the side of Maryville, right, and what they need to do to have their strong players to be able to control the game, we've looked at players like Shady to do so in their wins. There were some dicey Barons even in game number 1 that maybe shouldn't have went their way. And Emily, we kind of saw the consequence here of when the Barons really are just slipping through their hands.
Yeah, so this is a great hook by Shady, but the problem is that it's on a Diana, who is already incredibly snowballed, and the rest of the team is able to collapse. I said this in Countdown, but the biggest advantage for Bethany is when they were playing these team compositions around the Shen, when they can collapse on whoever is there around and support whoever their damage dealer is. And in this case, it's Diana. As soon as Shady lands that hook, Bethany is there, and she just destroys Maryville, ends up resulting in this Baron. And yeah, I mean, I still think Shady played this game really well. He probably wants this hook back because of what ended up happening. But I think that's more of a consequence of the game state, right? He lands on anyone else, it's probably a good pick for them.
Yeah, and I'd also like to add that one thing that's been consistent for Bethany is the Shin pick, and one thing that Maryville has been failing to do is play around their TP disadvantage. So in that play, Shin is bot lane ready to join with ulti and TP, whereas GP is down TP, right? So they're making a play around Baron, but GP is bot with no TP, and this has been something consistent by Maryville that they're messing up on, and so that's definitely something that Bethany can exploit if they keep picking Shin.
We do have another moment to relive here in this game, brought to you by Stream Recap, because at this point, Emily, we talked so much about the power of Diana and the difficulty of MU to keep her down. The team fights are tough.
Yeah, and I want people to watch Spyrax here too, because he really tries to get onto Bradley, but Bradley just kind of ults him away. And here is just the insane Diana damage. You see that Chippies is actually able to do a lot of damage with his barrels at this point, and the ultimate, but it's not enough when Diana can just absolutely explode people like this. And also because Marival were unable to get onto a damage dealer like Bradley, he ends up being able to rejoin as well. So it's just at this point in the game, it's kind of lost. Diana is just going to take over any fight she's in. And since Marival were unable to set up side lanes, like we were talking off camera about how maybe they should have focused a little bit more on their side lane pressure, on trying to play a little bit more around when they were aware that they had a TP advantage to push out their side lanes, because no one's going to be able to really go up against GP in a side lane unless it's Diana, and you don't want her there. You want her with the rest of the team if you're Bethany. So that's something else that I think Marival can also focus on for the next game.
Yeah, and just to add on to that point, I think that the GP pick, even though Chippy has been getting big CS leads, I think his team fighting has not been particularly good. His TP usage has been pretty bad. So I'd like to see him get away from the GP, even though he's looking good on lane, maybe go to a Gnar or something else that can really pressure the Shen, because Bethany is consistently blinding Shen. So I'd like to see him pick sort of like a frontline bruiser into the Shen instead of the GP.
And all good things to keep in mind, because as we go into the next game, we do know that Bethany have actually selected red side. And while they did find the success on blue side in game number 3, Emily, it does seem like they do prefer to make the swap to red whenever they get the opportunity.
Well, they were still on red, but I mean, I think Bethany's so comfortable on red side. I think because they pick these, you know, like they bring out the Diana, they bring out you kind of know what Marival's ban rotation is going to be, and I actually don't mind their ban rotation. I'm not like picking them apart in draft or anything, but I think if you are Bethany and you're going into this and you're like, you know, we do think this team has, you know, better macro than us, or maybe they have like better hands if you average across all positions. Like, how are we going to win? We're going to win by playing our style. We're going to win by locking in some of these weird counter picks that they might not be expecting and playing around those. And I think consistently outside of the Bradley Victor pick, I think they've been playing around their team compositions really well, even in their losses. So they're super comfortable on this red side. And I don't know, I appreciate a team that's comfortable on red side, even though I think blue side has some pretty obvious advantages.
Always things that you have to consider, but when we are going forward with this, I think that one thing to point out, you both had mentioned the fact that Maryville in the later portion of the game, not necessarily going for that side lane pressure like maybe they should have. And one thing that we saw in our games prior to today is sometimes that later stage posing some difficulty in closing out. So Niles, do you think that Maryville is a team that might have a bit of that struggle if Bethany manages to kind of push them in even footing when it comes to the later game, if they don't find out those strategies to be able to close it?
Yeah, so I think that Maryville, they've showed that they have a better macro game, but when they're just sitting 5 mid, when they have TPs up on Renekton and GP, and they're not pressuring side lanes at all, the winning side lanes, they don't mean anything, right? And the things that they've showed in other series, they aren't really showing in this series. So I think it's very important that whenever they get a winning top lane matchup, which I expect they will, the past 3 games, it's been domination in the top lane, that Chippies really needs to play side lanes more. Like, use his TP. Don't be so worried about your core 3 mid, especially if they get Thresh again. Varus is so safe mid lane to clear waves with Thresh, right? Don't be over-indexing on the mid lane grouping. Just play side lanes more and you'll get an advantage.
All I know is Moonfall sounds like it would be a pleasant experience, but when you're on the receiving end of it, like in that game, definitely put some fire beneath your feet, as Bethany have put the fire beneath the feet of Maryville, bringing themselves back to life in this series to keep it going to another game. Find out if they can push it the distance right after this.